Chris, you have some big-time games on your schedule that, fans might circle as huge contests, but maybe they wouldn't think that of North Dakota State. However, that's the kind of team that's kind of crafty and sneaky. What do you see in studying them that makes them, a good opponent?
Yeah, I don't worry about fans' perspectives and what they think are big games. They've never, sat in the seat that we sit in. So, my concern is us getting better every single practice, every single game, carrying over what we did well the second time we played Northern Iowa to tomorrow night and continuing to get better. North Dakota State is a team that tries to play downhill. They run a dribble drive, dribble weave. They pick off defenders by dribbling at them, circling up, and trying to get in the lane. And, they've got a kid that shoots the ball dang near 80% from the three-point line. And so, that's what they present offensively. And then defensively, they're going to be a lot like a few of the teams that we faced, where they're going to try to clog the lane and really make it congested. And we have to do a good enough job to stretch the defense out, to get inside of it, to make plays both at the rim and for our teammates on the perimeter.
After playing so well in the last game, what kind of improvements do you want to see to your guys?
The same. I want to continue to be a team that is efficient on offense, that moves the ball, that when called for can play deeper into a shot clock and still get a quality shot up at the end. Defensively, I loved our intensity, but each and every team brings a different challenge and a different set of circumstances that we're going to have to deal with. I would say that North Dakota State really likes to, not necessarily spread you out, but just play drive and kick, and then they put pressure on the defense by getting in the lane, shot faking, creating or putting two players on the ball, having the ability to kick out, stretch the defense with a couple of shooters. So. That's how they want to butter their bread on offense, and we have to do a great job of guarding the ball at all four positions on the perimeter.
Chris, just because you are dealing with 18 to 22-year-olds, and they are human, and this is what some might consider a look-ahead type of situation with Baylor coming up on the weekend, what kind of mental prep work goes into?
I don't know. That might be for you guys and stuff. We don't talk about anybody else other than ourselves and the team we play. And, whether we played North Carolina tomorrow night or Northern Kentucky or St. X High School, all that stuff's irrelevant.
Chris, Edmund came into the last game. He had trouble shooting from three, but came in and buried 2 threes pretty quickly. Do you think that he's starting to find his comfort level now and just personally playing better?
Well, I think he was reflective of not playing very well individually down in Orlando. He played much better the other night against Northern Iowa. It's not necessarily because he shot the ball well. I think he's a better shooter than his percentage indicates. I just thought he ran the team really well. That's what I said after the game, and stick to it. He got in the lane. He made his teammates better. He created some easier looks for some of his teammates. And that's what good point guards do. And then I thought when it wasn't there, he didn't have those forced turnovers. He didn't go one on three. They weren't able, a good disciplined defensive team, they weren't able to take charges on him in the lane because he made the right decision and ran our team. And that's what we want to continue to get out of Edmund.
We had a chance, Coach, to talk to Rasheed and Sean a few minutes ago. You talked in the offseason about the big question being, at least from outsider's perspective, how the big men replace Jalen and James. Through your game so far, what's kind of your take on the big men?
Not consistent enough. They have to capitalize on the opportunities given. We talked the other day, it's chicken or the egg. It's like every big guy wants the ball more, but you invoke confidence from your teammates when you capitalize on those opportunities. So it's like, do you need the ball more or do you need to finish the opportunities that you have? And that's certainly in the scoring department. I think, rebounding the ball, they've done fine. I think they can do better. I think they have gotten better, much better defensively than a year ago, and not just individually, but I think our team defensively from our bigs much better than a year ago. We're playing ball screens a lot more aggressive. We're taking charges from the center position. Those were two things that we struggled with a year ago. James and Jalen didn't necessarily have to take charges because they blocked so many shots and altered so many shots. But Sean and Rashid and well, not Tyreek so much, but Sean and Rashid aren't necessarily going to be above the rim, rim protectors. So we have to do it in a different way, and hopefully they'll continue to get better in that area.
Kaiser was able to play 11 minutes, I believe, first game.
Yeah.
Do you expect his role to expand to be more minutes?
I certainly hope so. To think that he was going to come back after really sitting out 3 months and not really having any continuity in practice, being on the shelf for so long, being in the training room more than on a basketball court, and come in and just like, he wasn't going to miss a beat. It's probably foolish for anybody to think, including Kaiser. But the more he gets in there, the better he'll get. He had no ill effects from playing 11 minutes. I think he was a little sore the next day, but that was to be expected. It wasn't a bad sore. So we feel like we're just going to continue to allow him to play more and more, and hopefully he capitalizes on those opportunities and becomes a little more seamless over time.
How do you think Malcolm has assimilated to just playing here? And
It's a different level, and I don't know if Malcolm necessarily expected that. You got two things that Malcolm, I don't want to say was up against, but it's different. Number one, we've won around here, and if you look at some of the teams Malcolm came from, that they weren't winning teams. And that's no knock on Malcolm, but that's what he was around every day. And so there's a different accountability when you play in a program that is used to winning, that prepares to win. And then I think it's just, besides not being used to that culture, I also think it's, he stepped in at a much higher level overall. This is high major basketball. You're playing an ACC team. You're playing teams that, used to buy you, and you'd show up and you'd lose by 40, and it didn't matter if you got 10 points or 30 points. Now he's expected to win those games, and so it's a little bit of a culture shock. But I think his teammates love him. He's done a great job defensively. He's still learning our system as a fifth-year senior. His offense will come and go. We don't need him to be our leading scorer. I think he appreciates and understands that. And if he wanted to be a team's leading scorer, he could have just certainly stayed at Florida A&M. And he wanted to play at a different level and compete and challenge himself, and that's exactly what he's doing. So I think as he gets more and more used to playing at Xavier, he'll continue to become an even better player over time.